Civic Center. I'm Mel Bernstein along with Dave Bontempo. Anthony Stevens and James Hughes for the USBA Welterweight Championship. Well, this is kind of a little bit of a mini homecoming for Anthony Stevens from Shreveport. This means a lot to him tonight.
A 4-year period has shown the maturity of Anthony Stevens. Flashback to 1990, when a headhunting Stevens was one of many to lose to crafty Harold Brazier. Then fast forward to 1991, when Stevens had Tony Martin in deep trouble. But the Gutty Martin fought back to salvage a draw. The list of Stevens' frustrations include a loss to former champion Livingstone Bramble and another to current title holder Felix Trinidad. But the tough fights made him better. 4 years after losing to Brazier, Stevens won the rematch. That put new visibility on his career and the USBA title belt around his waist. At 29, Stevens knows he must duplicate his last effort every time out.
Well, that boosted my career a whole lot. You know, it's put me in line for another world title shot. So that's something I was real excited about. And it really helped me a lot in my career.
That's Anthony Stevens defending his USBA welterweight crown, one he won in a terrific performance against Harold Brazier. Well, James Hughes, the 29-year-old from Mobile, Alabama, is one of those boxing veterans who has ability and skill but hasn't quite yet found his stage. He made tonight.
Here is the modern-day
James Hughes sees opportunity knocking. The Mobile, Alabama welterweight was in this position before. He gave champion Buddy McGirt a decent battle, but lost a non-title bout on points. McGirt simply had too much experience. Hughes would gain another shot at notoriety by facing unbeaten Tucker Pudwill. Hughes had too much power in this fight, and Pudwill was a knockout victim in the 7th. Hughes began less auspiciously against Eric Holland. He recovered from the shaky start to make an intriguing brawl of it, but this would not go his way. Distance fights rarely do. Hughes has 15 knockouts to his credit. When fights go all the way, he's 4-6, and he must change that tonight.
Well, this is really one of the biggest fights in my career, the biggest fight. I've had some other fights with some bigger names, but this being the USBA title, getting me ranked, and that's the biggest fight in my career thus far.
So James Hughes knows what's at stake. The AutoZone keys to victory for you, Dave.
All right, cutting off the ring is incredibly important for Hughes. Throwing the body shots, he needs pressure on the inside. For Stevens, utilize the jab, that school jab, punch on the angles, and make Hughes go off balance.
We are ready. Anthony Stevens, James Hughes for the USBA Welterweight Championship. It should be a good one. We sure hope so. Let's go up to Michael Buffer.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Top Rank Incorporated and Frank Gell Promotions, in association with your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, proud to be your Bud, present the featured bout of the evening. This contest is sanctioned by the Louisiana State Boxing Commission, Chairman Leonard Miller, Treasurer Buddy M. Benato. Physician at ringside, Dr. Caroline Burton. The timekeeper is Kim Dement. This bout is also sanctioned by the United States Boxing Association. Supervisor ringside, Louisiana Chairman Leonard Miller. The 3 judges scoring the bout on a 10-point must system will be Martin Cosino, Paul Sita, and Lucien Jobert. And now, ladies and gentlemen, by way of the Isle of Capri Casino here in Bossier City, Louisiana, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the USBA Welterweight Championship. When the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Johnny Familia. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks and weighing in at 146 pounds, from Mobile, Alabama. He brings a professional record of 23-8 with 15 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the challenger, the modern-day outlaw Jesse James Hughes. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with red letters, Also weighing in at 146 pounds from Shreveport, Louisiana. He brings a professional record of 23-6 with 2 draws, 16 of his 23 victories by KO. Introducing the USBA welterweight champion, the untouchable Anthony Stevens.
And here's a look at the USBA rules. The 10-point must-scoring system in effect. 3 knockdowns not in effect here. Mandatory 8 count. No standing 8 count. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round, and the referee can stop the fight.
James Hughes is fired up for this one, make no mistake. The 29-year-old native of Mobile wants this title, but the man that holds it, Anthony Stevens, said flat out to us this morning, Dave, I don't really think James Hughes is that big a threat to me.
And a little bit uncharacteristic as far as that kind of talk from him. He is motivated for this fight. The first round ought to be pretty explosive.
Hughes wants to pressure him. He told us that. Be all over him, work on the inside. For Stevens, I'm sure he would rather box a little bit and stay on the outside. We'll see how it all works out. Good left hook by James Hughes.
And you've got the outlaw against the untouchable. Real shootout here.
Where's Walter Winchell when we need him? He's scheduled for 12 because the USBA title is on the line. Stevens getting in a pretty good left hand. They are both 29 years of age.
And I don't think that the finer points of boxing will come out in this first round. You're seeing a lot of adrenaline, some pushing and shoving.
And that benefits Hughes, don't you think? Because he wants that kind of brawl.
He wants Stevens to get out of the disciplined game which got him here and make this a fight that can take place in a phone booth.
Nice left hand by Stevens. If you haven't seen James Hughes fight before, he has a rock-hard chin. Not an easy task to hurt him.
And at times we are seeing him lead with that chin in the opening round here. He does not care the price right now. He simply wants to get inside and do rough stuff.
He's not jabbing his way in, though. There he tried it, but it didn't work too well. Stevens now has his distance a little bit better as we're halfway through round 1. Anthony Stevens and James Hughes, they're both in the black trunks.
Stevens showing a little bit of that punching on angles ability mentioned in the keys, and Hughes will try to take that away.
Hughes missing with a couple of jabs as he tries to jab his way in. You get the feeling Johnny Fineo will be a very laissez-faire kind of referee, allowing things to take their natural course.
And Stevens wants to be on the inside. Hughes wants to win the kind of fight where you can have head butting and somebody loses a teeth and all that. A gritty inside battle, as ugly as he can make it.
Stevens using his jab, not landing it, but using it to keep Hughes off him. And wanting to tie up Hughes when they're on the inside, which he's doing right now. Half a minute left to go in round 1. It is set for 12 USBA Welterweight Championship. I'm Al Bernstein along with Dave Bontempo. We're delighted you joined us for another edition of Top Rank Boxing. So round 1 is winding to a conclusion, and Anthony Stevens punctuates it with an excellent left hook. We'll be back. Things should keep heating up.
Let him go. Let him go.
Stevens makes Hughes pay for being off balance, gets everything into this left hook.
So there's an example of Stevens doing well on the inside. James Hughes feels like that's his office, but so far he hasn't been able to make it work. But he is pressuring Stevens as we expected him to.
First round, really, the Matador gets the edge over the Bull. And Hughes was trying to pressure too much and really just being reckless about it.
See, though, Hughes had his moments in round 1. He gets a warning from referee Johnny Fineo about throwing Anthony Stevens around.
Let him go, John.
And the smart fighters who try to rough up their opponents will take it as far as they can go. Make sure they get at least one warning, but it's not a point.
Stevens working the jab. It's a very big ring, so that benefits Anthony Stevens, you would think. And now he is getting the jab working against James Hughes.
Hughes will need to adjust his strategy if he's going to win the fight. He's got to cover up more, really get the head down lower, and don't pay such a big price for getting in because he is an open target. And in this big ring, he'll become even a bigger target.
Stevens' jab keeps working here in round 2.
Already blood under the right eye of Hughes.
Anthony Stevens had a chance at a world title, but Felix Trinidad had Trinidad down twice, but could not keep him down and ended up losing it in the 10th round, largely because of fatigue. He could not win the IBF welterweight title. Now Hughes pressuring him pretty well and getting a couple right hands home, but takes a right from Anthony Stevens.
Hughes found one opening and let everything he had into it, trying to maximize